Okay, in this video we're going to go over fishing, harvest, lumber, hunting, and mining. It's pretty simple on how I did it. Really simple actually. If you notice, if you just go to harvest, you attempt to harvest, you find nothing. Let's try to mine, nothing. Try to hunt, what's good? Let's do some fishing. See if I can't catch something. Oh, see, I'm out of stamina. Every time you do it, it actually brings down your stamina. But if I go into my backpack and eat me something. There we go, back up. So let's try to fish again. I caught a bass, took 1 hour, you gain 2 experience. The hours actually depend on your stamina. Feel free to change the system. I know there was a lot of people, not a lot of people, there were some people that didn't like it, a lot of people liked it. You can turn it to however you want it to do it. If you want to do it by a point system, I know a lot of people love the turns. You can easily convert this into turns just by every hour equals a turn. So if it takes you 3 hours, then that's 3 turns you just use, and then you run out of turns and you gotta wait, and you can buy more turns if you want to turn this into a money thing, or however you want to do it. So there's a lot of different ways you can convert this, but to get started, we're going to start with fishing. All this is pretty much the same. One thing that I will recommend you doing that I'm not going to fix for you because it's depending on how you want. Change this connect to point to the original connect in the beginning. I didn't. You notice how I have a connect in here. I have 2 different connects. Not a good idea. Point it back to the original connect. There was a reason why I had that. It was for a feature, and I just never went to it. But you guys, it works the way it is now, but I just don't recommend it. I would go ahead and fix that. And you know, to fix it, basically, you're just going to point it back to the original one, just like that. Next thing we do is we're just going to pull the player. If you're not logged in, we know that. We're gonna do the map. We need to pull the map. You have to get the information from the map. You can change. You'll notice throughout this code that there's going to be a lot of select alls. Go through and go through the map or go through the page and find out what you're actually needing to select, because when I was coding this and testing it, it was quick and I was just doing select all. You can actually speed up your game by going through and say you only need fish, lumber, and hunt, or in mine. Then go through and select mine, hunt, and lumber. Make sure you get them all, because if you miss one, you're going to get an error on your page. But what I mean by that is only select mine, fishing, you know, whatever it may be, which should actually be mining from there, instead of actually selecting all. Then we're going to do our, if you notice here's our out of place current bar and health bar, but that's fine. A link to our, this is all links. Actually, you guys can take this and make this into an include file. You know, nearly all this right here can go into an include file, to where all you have to do is hit include. That's up to you on how you want to do it. Same here with these player stats. All this stuff could go into a separate page, to where you could really shorten up this page a lot. Like I said, I coded this years ago. Your experience the same way. Resting's the same way. That could go into its separate page. Center table, this is basically, let's go back to harvest. This is basically your center table right here. You notice everything else has been cut out. It's going to first make sure, since we're in fishing, it's going to make sure that the fishing is less than 100. If fishing goes over 100, if people overfish it, there's no fishable spots here. You can't even fish anymore. You have to wait for the cron to actually take down the number lower than 100 so you can fish again. So that's one thing that you need to remember when you're creating this game, on how many players you expect. You know, if you're expecting 5,000 players and you've only got 1,600 spots, it's going to fill up quick. So you need to start creating more maps as your player base grows. And keep an eye on how bad or how good, because you may have to turn up that cron to speed up a little quicker to bring this stuff down, depending on your players. I actually had to do that with the game. Fishing costs at the max 6 stamina, and you can actually change this how you want, but the way I did it was I required you have to have at least the max stamina, the 3 hours worth, before you can even do anything. Even if it only takes you an hour, you still need to have the 3 hours worth, and it just was simpler that way. If you don't have 6 stamina, because it takes two stamina per 1 hour, then you do not have enough stamina rest to grab a meal. You can also change this to make this really dynamic, to where it takes more stamina for a higher level player, but a higher level player catches better fish. I mean, they already catch better fish, but you could change it to where it takes more stamina for them. Or you can even make the ponds rated, like this is a greater pond, it has better stuff, but it takes more stamina to fish it because it's a windier pond or whatever it may be. You can do that too. And then once we do that, we're going to go to our skills. And how I just set up the skills, this is a good introduction to the skill system, is we go to our skills. Skills are not located in the player table. What I did was I made the ID, and this ID is equal to the player's ID when first creation. You'll notice that this is a real simple table. It's just the level of the skills. is all it is. So if I look at the player, I basically got fishing, as a 1. So it's just going to select fishing from skills where ID equals ID, and ID is defined up here at the top of the table whenever the player comes in. So after we get the skill, then we do the max find equals your skill, whatever your skill might be, times 2. Now there's a 0 there because you only picked one skill. So that's why it's just wanting the first one. So it's actually times 2. So you can only catch something that's times 2 of your level. So if you're level 2, you can only catch up to a level 4 fish. You can change this to however you want. You can put that +2 to where you can only catch 2 levels higher, because technically the way this is working now, I would probably change it just for the fact I don't know if I'd like a 10th level person with 10 levels of fishing catching a 20 level fish. So you may want to change that to +5, +2, however you want to do it. It's totally up to you. You can make it to where it's nothing. You can only catch your level. Next thing we do is we select all from the fish materials where the level is, and then level is less than the max find, order by ran, limit 1. So if we go to the actual materials, because this is all based on basically materials, this whole system. You notice I only have one thing in here. It is, and this is because it's not the live database, it's just the database I pulled in. Actually so yeah, we just have one item here, and it's a bass, the fish, the durability. Level is 1, so anybody can catch it, and you can come in here and create all you want, and you create your stats, and I'll go over actually what all these mean here shortly. I'm just trying to get through the actual how all this works. But here's where it actually selects it from. So then after that we go to attempting to fish. The reason why we pick something before we actually even attempt to fish, because we need to know the level of difficulty, so then that's where it pulls from the database. So you notice here I call this random hell. That's basically the difficulty. So that's an actually difficulty modifier that adds to the stat. So it's 0 through 20. So there's automatically a 0 through 20 that's randomly added. Your skill rand is your skill level plus 10 plus your IQ. Your IQ gets added to your fishing. So if my skill is, let's say 2, that'd be 12 plus my IQ. If it's 2, that's 14. So I have a 14 there. The harvest ran, doesn't actually mean the harvest. That just means whatever you're trying to harvest, whether it's fish, mining, or whatever it is, equals the founder level, which is the actual item that you're finding. So if it's a level 2, then that's going to be 2 plus the total fishing. So this is why fishing needs to be, why your map stat needs to be low, is because it's actually adding it to the difficulty. So it's going to add the fishing and plus that random hell that's on there, and it's going to come up with a total number. So next thing it's going to do is it's going to create the hour system.